Alright guys, Path of Exile 2 leaked Ascendancy, no mercy, looks giga strong here by Fearless Dumbo.
Welcome to the first of many Path of Exile 2 videos on my channel. And
Hell yeah.
there's some newly leaked Ascendancy information for Witch Hunter, which I plan on building a boss killer for in 2 short weeks. If you're new here, I am a Path of Exile bossing specialist, and most of my content revolves around efficient scaling of damage and mechanics of use
I like
to
this
delete
guy already.
bosses.
Bossing
I spend a ton of energy
boys.
testing and constructing thorough build guides,
Hell
so
yeah.
if that's something you're looking for, drop me a like and subscribe. I also don't like beating around the bush, so let's start with the new Ascendancy information.
Straight to the point, my man.
First, credit to user Thick as Thieves who capped these from Open World Games' recent video, and I went back and capped one more Ascendancy travel node, which is where we'll start. The 2 small nodes we didn't know about before are 6% CDR on the way to Judge, Jury, and Executioner, and 35% increased damage with hits against low life.
Man, this class is gonna be so
Now, I'd
strong.
already started recording this video before seeing this, and was planning on mentioning that Decimating Strike, the pre-call Ascendancy notable, has a nice side effect of boosting the effectiveness of any modifier for low life. If a
That is so insane, man. Like these are the chunks you can do. It's like a guaranteed damage chunk on the boss. Well, not guaranteed, but on the first hit you have a chance to basically chunk the boss for like a massive amount of HP.
mob starts at 70% health, most of the time they're alive. They're going to be triggering low life effects. CDR is useful for grenade builds, which I plan on leaning into because all of the grenades have cooldowns. Those are great, but the real meat are the 2 new major Ascendancy nodes. The first is Culling Strike on the way to Witchbane. Culling's been completely reworked in PoE 2. Now it slides on a monster rarity scale from 30% to 5%. This greatly improves its utility in mapping.
Yeah, so Culling Strike, my friends, is basically like executing or instantly killing the monster. And it works like differently for different kind of monsters. Here you can see, like, if you basically Culling Strike a monster that has a normal monster that has 30% life, it's going to instantly die. And the same for magic, rare, and uniques, which are boss at 5%. So that's gonna be rocking.
Scenarios, because Cull was more or less a dead mod in PoE 1 when you're
Finisher,
mapping, but
yeah.
it reduces its effectiveness in
Executes
boss
from
encounters.
D4.
I actually really like this change. It always felt weird to get a flat 10% and for it to be so situationally useful. The second and much bigger deal in my opinion is No Mercy, which synergizes with Witchbane. No Mercy gives 30% more damage based on the enemy's missing
So we learned more damage, guys, is X. It's a multiplier. If anything says increased damage, it's plus. And if it says more, it's basically an indication for a multiplier, X. So this is basically a 1.3x damage to enemies based on their missing concentration. Let's go. That's so crazy, actually.
This is a new mechanic in PoE 2 that enemies get from Witchbane, so there are many unknowns, but what we do know is that words in PoE are extremely important, so let's take a quick look at Witchbane. Enemies have maximum concentration equal to 40% of their life pool.
Okay, he's cooking,
You can
boys.
break an enemy's concentration on hit equal to 100% of damage dealt. I had a discussion with If and Jeff, who is also a mechanics nerd, about this, and to us, it reads like breaking other status buffs like armor. So if we throw in Decimating Strike, which is another Witch Hunter Ascendancy, we start with up to 30% of their life pool gone with our first hit. Now only Mark from GGG knows exactly how this works, but based on the way Jonathan described it and a careful inspection of the footage, damage from
Dude, he instantly deals 250,000 damage to this boss.
works,
Look at
but
this.
based
Top
on the way
right of his
Jonathan
bar.
described it and a careful inspection
Bam.
of the footage, damage from Decimating Strike counts as part of
That's
that first
crazy.
hit. So you can load up a juiced explosive grenade that can grind off whatever Decimating Strike missed to get you over the remainder of the 40% threshold. The rest of the boss's health bar should just melt away. Obviously,
This guy is cooking, man. And what we were thinking about, what if you, let me exit full screen so you can see this. What if you have a party of 6 that all use this mercenary with this ability? If you get lucky enough, it's just gonna insta-kill the boss. Like you have 3 people that hit for 30%, like the boss is basically dead. And you can have 6 people in the party. Oh my god, man, this is gonna be so wild, maybe. I mean, I don't know. We're gonna think a bit out of the box, like, but that might go like completely crazy, depending on like if they thought about this or how all this is gonna work. We'll find out soon enough, boys. Just throwing ideas.
Inspection of the footage, damage from
This will be
Decimating
kept for
Strike
sure.
counts as part of
We'll
that
see.
just melt away. Obviously, there's a lot of testing to do. Nothing is certain, but I would also like to point out that when combining this with Culling Strike, it's an extremely potent map clear combination. For anything in maps, between 10 and 60% of a monster's health bar becomes irrelevant, which is a crazy thing to say out loud.
That's crazy.
Particularly because these are raw percentages removed and wouldn't be affected by things that usually make monsters tankier, like delirium or additional resistances, outside of you needing to still cross that threshold to proc No Mercy. From an Ascendancy perspective, this is exactly what I plan on trialing a boss.
GGG would hotfix that immediately if it works. Okay, well then it's great. We're gonna find it out. Like, this is one of the reasons they said why early access is there in the first place. It's to figure out these kind of crazy mechanics, because they are like super knowledgeable about the game, right? Like, you can clearly tell the developers have a lot of passion. They play the game a ton, and so on and so on and so on. But something will still slip through the cracks, guys, because the game is so complex. I think Jonathan said it himself in the announcement that he's actually looking forward to see like what kind of crazy combinations and potentially broken combinations people will do. And they will certainly keep an eye out and hotfix very swiftly if necessary. And, well, that's just really great. Also in a party, the life climbs up by more than double. Yeah, but okay, he's still doing a percent of the damage, a percent of the health of the monster. Now, okay, that might be a base percentage. They could like quote it like this. But like, we have no idea. It might as well work, guys. We'll see. Just throwing out ideas.
Boss killer with. It looks like it has a fantastic combination of map clear and bossing, and it has some of the most broken scaling from where I am sitting.
Oh yeah.
Crossbow also looks busted. They have access to several scaling vectors and some potentially interesting interactions between skills that could allow for AoE shotgunning, and quite frankly, it just looks fun to play. It's unlike anything PoE 1 has to offer.
If you play this one with WASD, guys, and if you also listen to the sound, it's gonna feel like you're playing a shooter. Like whenever you shoot your crossbow, it actually sounds like you're like playing a shotgun or something. Like it's this is truly an American build, boys.
And I am here for it. Now, what interesting scaling vectors do crossbows have, you might ask? Some of the grenade skills play like PoE 1 traps or mines might. Like cluster grenades look a lot like explosive trap, for example. But now you have access to all of the tools that range characters have. Projectile damage scaling, chain, fork, returning projectiles, maybe. Multiple projectiles.
Maybe. Copium. Look, this is so much. And on top of this, guys, they also changed the way accuracy and evade works. Like if you're actually far away from your target, like you would be on the Mercenary, because it's like kind of ranged, you actually have a higher chance of evading, dodging ranged projectiles. Like the further you're away, the more chance you have to not get hit by projectiles.
Added flat damage from things like Flame Wall or Gun Heat, which is a new thing in PoE 2, something you can build up using rapid fire crossbows. You also don't have some of the downsides that ranged projectile builds have. For example, projectile speed is mostly irrelevant since crossbow projectiles travel almost instantly, and I guarantee casters who are using things like Fireball will want to look for projectile speed to improve clear. And as a projectile tag skill, you get access to powerful notables like Ricochet, which allows projectiles to chain off of terrain.
Don't need to evade anything if you kill them in one shot. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, even if that would work, they would hotfix that pretty fast either way, no matter which mechanic would do that. So I don't think we're going to have a broken one-shot fest in here. They are very vigilant with this. They actually have like a full post about this as well, how they're going to handle this. Like they want to respond within hours of an exploit or a bug like this emerging. We'll see.
And since our big damage dealers like Cluster and Explosive Grenade...
Great offense, man. That's the best defense. Like, they can't one-shot you if you one-shot them. But I don't know if that's going to apply, boys.
...are AoE-based, this creates opportunity for overlaps, which is a massive damage multiplier in Path of Exile. And AoE shotgunning, when done properly, might be the best multiplier in PoE 1. Or things like the new notable Stand and Deliver, which gives crit damage bonus and increased crit damage to close enemies. Should you want to be farther away... Ballistas might still benefit from it depending on how secondary damage works.
Man, this looks like some crazy
Repeating explosives is almost certainly a straight up 20% more damage with grenades notable. You don't appear to be bound to a maximum number of grenades active in combat like you used to be with mines or traps in PoE 1, so there's no downside to an incredibly strong notable like this one. Okay, let me set up this scenario for you and give you an idea where my head's been at theory crafting. One of the supports that looks the most broken to me is Frostfire. I've been thinking about this one a lot. Frostfire is a support that grants 100% more ignite
support. Okay, so this is like a support for you, like attack
effect. At least, whenever PoE 2 DB captured it. But if this were a support in PoE 1, it would immediately become one of, if not the strongest support for the game for ignite builds. A really strong
100% chance to ignite against Frozen.
Adds like 40% more damage.
Crazy.
Let's say we full convert explosive grenade over to fire and crit to guarantee an ignite. We only need to combo another skill enough to freeze the enemy before essentially getting double the damage. And we can throw in added flat from secondary skills to further boost that ignite, like Flame Wall, or by overheating our gun, or both. All right, now let's say we roll into a boss fight, full health. We pull out our permafrost ammunition with glaciation and hypothermia to get to freeze really fast.
Channel below.
We immediately take 25% of the boss's health off with decimating strike, which should be enough to freeze it and make getting the next 15% easy. We spin up Flame Wall with Fortress to give us added flat for our big boom, and as soon as we finish breaking concentration, we drop a fat ignite on them, which gets the full 30% more multiplier from No Mercy. Explosive Grenade is an excellent choice of nuke here because looking through the known skill list, it has one of the highest attack damage multipliers. Easy game. Now, having said all that, we are still very much in the dark about everything. So don't take my or anyone else's perspective on what is going to be the best of anything until we are able to get in and experiment, which is a lot of the fun of Path of Exile. It's like,
yeah, it's good that he mentions this, man. Like, nobody truly knows, you know, what's going to happen with the game, how it's going to go. We can just make some guesses on the information we have available right now, but nobody has all the information, guys. This might all be like completely different. We will see, but people are very interested, so people are giving, or creators are giving, like, you know, their best guesses, and it's certainly a lot of fun, like, you know, to think about this, and it certainly is going to help you out in some way. So that's very cool.
It's like a magical early Christmas present where a game this complex and rewarding mechanically is completely new and undiscovered. And who knows what the end game will be like, but I'm really stoked to find out. I'll keep posting thoughts and what my early access build concept shapes up to be, but it's 1000% going to be a Witch Hunter as a first build boss killer. And as soon as I have enough to construct a viable build guide, I will be posting that here on this channel. And you can follow along with my character. I'm Fearless Dumbo and my profile is public. I've also got one more channel announcement. I've teamed up with Crip, Locahall, Dreamcore, Surgog, Jorgen, and several well-known and respected content creators at Mobalytics who will be creating build guide companions to the videos that I have here. In hopefully a short amount of time, you'll have access to all of the same information I provide on my channel, and I will drop a link in the description. I hope to see you all on the new beach in a couple weeks. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is there something I missed, something that looks amazing that you can't wait to try? I'm here for it all. Take care.
Yo, man. That's been a great video, guys. Okay, man, we're finding all these creators. Subscribe, leave a like. Fearless Dumbo. Gonna link the video below. What a guy. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to this. Like, that class looks fantastic. I'm probably gonna end up playing melee, like Monk or Warrior. But, dude, this thing looks to be doing a ton of damage. If you wanna, you know, melt and chunk some bosses, like with this class, you'll be sure to chunk 250,000 DPS in one shot. Let's go. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.